Hello, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classics/Non-Classics, where I review Marvel and DC. Okay, simple as that. Okay, this is Doubleshot number 2. Where this first book I'm going to review is another Gauntlet book. Gauntlet book 4, The Juggernaut. Where this collects issues Amazing Spider-Man 626, 629, written by Roger Stern and Fred Letani, I think it's they pronounce his name. It also has in here Amazing Spider-Man 229 to 230, the original Juggernaut story. The first time ever Spider-Man fought the Juggernaut. Now, pretty much this thing starts off. Now, here's the interesting thing. Fred Letani, who writes the first issue, he only writes his first issue. Mark Waid, who also writes this. Yeah. Mark Waid also writes in here. He writes Brother, Can You Spare a Crime? Now, here's the interesting thing. Both the Juggernaut story that's in here and the original one is the same writer. They brought back Roger Stern to write a sequel story to the original Juggernaut story. Okay? Now, the first story is simply just a story featuring, of course, they mentioned the Hood. He does not appear in the series. No matter how hard I think, he does not appear in the series. The first story is simply, of course, they mentioned the Red-Headed Stranger, this little thing right here. Yeah. Oh yeah, the Hood does show up in this issue. Simply, this is just Spider-Man versus the new Scorpion. That's all that's all this first issue is. It's a interesting story. The artwork is a bit dark for this story, yes. And that's that. And apparently, she was revealed kind of working with the Kravenoffs. Yeah, sort of building for that special story. Yeah. And of course, Anna has got long hair. No explanation why her hair is down like that. Now here's the story everybody loves. Something can stop the Juggernaut. This is a 3-part story. I'm not going to spoil this one, because this one's really good. I love this story. And no, Spider-Man does not do this in the book. His helmet does not break. Yeah, he actually has a title here. Something can stop the Juggernaut. Yeah, this is simply, Juggernaut is not the villain of the story. The villain of the story is actually, get this, Captain Universe. Yeah. Now, they do mention in this page, this is page 2, like, they mentioned the previous 3 times that he fought the Juggernaut. The first time, which was the classic story, which was Amazing Spider-Man 229, 230. Then he fought him again in the final issue of Martin Volume 1, which is issue 150. And he fought him for the third and last known time. This was back in 1987. In Peter Parker, Spider-Man number 84. After that, he had found him ever since to this issue. Yeah. Now, this is the artwork is actually much better. I give it that much. Very good artwork in here in this story. Yeah, of course, he has lunch. Peter Parker has lunch with his girlfriend, Carly Cooper. Yeah, his girlfriend. Yeah. And after the last meeting, Juggernaut and Spider-Man have a truce. And then here comes Captain Universe. Yeah. And of course, they fight. Of course, Spider-Man brings up the fact that he was Captain Universe. Yeah. I'm not going to spoil this story too much, because I want to get to the next story. Yeah. Of course, because the Crimson also allows him to create his armor, he should grab himself a new helmet. When he came back to it, he came out of helmet. He's questioning that. Yeah. And then this final story, which is the cover of the book, issue 629. Yeah. Yeah, it just basically has some older artwork, basically, but the times they found him over the years. Yeah. Tell about the Juggernaut. Oh yeah, and it was Captain Universe the one who smashed the helmet. And then Juggernaut briefly becomes Captain Universe. Yep. It's an interesting story at best, yes. Of course, he thanks Spider-Man for helping him out. Yeah. It's an interesting story. And then this final story in here, which is one of the dumbest stories. It's an unemployed Peter Parker story. Brother, Can You Spare a Crime? It's simply just Spider-Man versus the Authority Man while he's trying to get to his interview. Yeah. It's a short story. It's stupid. And they brought in here they have the classic story in here, which I do like. I'm not going to review it because it's an old story. Yeah, Juggernaut and his old partner Black Tom Cassidy just tries to try to kidnap Madame Web, but they can't kidnap her because she's on life support. Of course, then he gets Larry bearing concrete. Yep. So all in all, 4 out of 5. They gotta take up the extra star because the unemployed Peter Parker story is so dumb. I don't like it very much. But it gets a big boost. The only real good story in this book is the Juggernaut story and the classic story Juggernaut. The 2-part Juggernaut, the Nothing Can Stop Juggernaut 2-part, which is in the back of the book, and the 3-part Something Can Stop Juggernaut is the only real good stories. Only 5 stories in here, 5 issues in here, really good. The rest are just too weird. Okay, now for the second one, which is the final book for the Gauntlet books. Well, into the epic conclusion. Grim Hunt, Book 5, The Lizard. And yes, this is all Lizard. I don't like the artwork in here. It's Chris Pacheco's artwork. It has Amazing Spider-Man 630 to 633, Shed Prelude from 629, which is the backup story from the previous issue, and material from Web Spider number 6. Okay, now the thing opens up with the Lizard origin story. This is a new origin story. Apparently, Man-Thing. Yes, this is Man-Thing. Or apparently he was involved with. Apparently he was there when Lizard first came around. I don't know how. Apparently this story probably took place before Spider first met him. Amazing Spider number 6. So, yeah. Though the Lizard and Man-Thing have met once before in Giant Size, I think it was Giant Size Spider number 2. Yes. That's simply all the first story is. It simply just tells about his story over the years, him basically how he met his wife. And as a shade prelude, basically how in the story he sort of sets up the events of the story. Of how basically now he's acting a bit weird. And apparently his boss is trying to sleep with his assistant basically, and he's in love with his assistant because his wife's been dead for years. Yeah, his wife died of cancer. Yeah, and I don't like the arc very much. Of course, Black Cat's in the story. I don't mind Black Cat's here. She's appearing a lot in here, but after Origin Speed, she's like kind of dimmed down a bit. Yeah. But after he started dating Carla Cooper, her appearance started dimmed down a bit. She didn't appear that much after that. Yeah, the artwork in this first one is not that bad. No. Not until they're really weird. Of course, Madame Web's still in custody of Sasha Kravinoff. Yeah. And of course, her outfit has like very similar to Black Cat. I don't know why. Yeah. And of course, Kirk Connors, predictable, becomes a Lizard. And he eats his boss in the first part. Somehow he's a spy since he started working on him. Kane shows up, and this takes place, and this is just before. This is actually the first time since the 3-part Raptor story, which was collected in The Return of Black Cat, that he's shown up. Yeah. Of course, he fights. Anna Kravinoff, of course, is Ali, who is the son of the original Kraven. He's second Kraven. She's the third. Yeah. He doesn't like the fact he's fighting him before the Grim Hunt. That's the name next door, Grim Hunt. Yeah. Let's see. Pretty much, and in this story, people go crazy in New York. He fights a lizard. So you go cuckoo for cocoa. Of course, Anna kidnaps Belly Connors. For some odd reason, he kidnaps her. Then leaves her in the alley. And then Kurt Connors, a.k.a. the Lizard, does the most dumbest thing. I don't mind him killing his boss because he's a jerk. But here's something basically that... this did not draw controversy at the time as far as I know, but this is by far the stupidest move that any of the writers did. The Lizard eats Billy Connors, Kirk Connors' only child. He eats him. I'm so glad they don't show him doing it. Show like in Shadows. And he knew this would happen. He knew. Yeah. I mean, Lizard goes completely nuts. And this is you're killing Billy, and Spider-Man goes next trying to take down the Lizard. Of course, now he looks like this for some stupid reason. No, the story is not boring. It's interesting, yes, but there's so much violence. This is probably the most darkest chapter. I mean, of all things, keep dark. They had to keep the Lizard story dark. Of all things, they were those cougar for cool bucks beating each other up, acting like lizards. And he says shed, yeah. And of course comes the final story, which has the name plastered on the thing. Yeah, he's acting like some kind of weird Moses type person. Of course, he doesn't cure him. Apparently, in the Lizard's mind, Kirk Connors is dead. Yeah. So basically, the only way to fully end him is kill his son. Yes. And then, of course, shows a picture of his boy. Of course, Peter. Well, May's actually so weird. Yeah. And, of course, apparently she gets freed from, apparently somehow, basically, she breaks free from Mr. Negative's control. Not really much explained about that. And then somehow Lizard meets up with Sasha. Or at least somebody. I think this is Sasha. I'm not sure who this woman is. It could be the assistant. Yeah, it could be the assistant. But otherwise, though, this is an okay story. Yeah, it's okay. I give it 3 out of 5. I took out the extra because it's an okay story. The other story I took off because the most stupidest thing happens. I don't like this thing. But the only thing I like about this story is the Lizard eats Billy Connors. That's the only thing I don't like about this book. The only thing I don't like about this. And this is the most darkest story of the Gauntlet. This book. Would I recommend it? Yes. But you have to have basically some way of understanding of why that he decided to do that. And of course, the Kravenoffs had to manipulate this from the beginning. Which I don't mind that because it sort of built up to the final chapter of this. But bringing back the Lizard was a good move. I give it that much. But him eating his son, stupid move. Should not have been done. My recommendation for this story, for the character, find some way to resurrect him. Like, I don't know, maybe not the Lizard. Yeah, maybe Kirk Connors in the body of the Lizard can probably convince what's over the hand to resurrect his dead son. But, and of course, this story does get followed up way later. But it's a 3 out of 5 story. It's not boring. It's a good read. But don't like the artwork. Don't like what he did to Billy Connors. Okay. Otherwise, though, that's it. Here's 2 books. This one's the better one. This is the dark one. Okay? That's it. Stay tuned for the next episode, which will be my 27th episode. See you there.